to revisit clarification on this aspect. When case 636 was allocated to your team in 2018, there was also another docket 375 of 07-2019. Are you aware of that docket?
Yes, my lord, I am aware of the other docket.
And as part of familiarizing yourself with the case in general, not a specific docket, would I be correct that you also familiarized yourself with 375 as well as docket 636 of 2014, I'm sorry?
No, my lord, I did not familiarize myself, my lord, with the phosphorus case 375.
Okay. Now let's go to what was put to you yesterday by my learned colleague, Mr. Mgomezulu. He referred you to two affidavits that were deposed to by Brigadier Gininda, a colonel at the time, or he was still a brigadier, I'm not sure about the title then, but he deposed two affidavits in support of the J50s to the magistrate at Boksburg Magistrates Court, A227 and A198. You remember those documents that were shown to you?
Yes, my lord, I remember the documents.
Because yesterday you said the questions pertaining to those affidavits should be directed to Brigadier Gininda. My question will then be, under investigations conducted by your team and the gist of why we are here, the theory of the state's case as per the investigations led by your team, you are aware of that theory, especially pertaining to accused number 2, correct?
I'm not sure what you mean by theory, my lord.
Let me give it to you this way. According to the investigations that were conducted by your team, and as specified in this affidavit, especially 198 of Brigadier Gininda, he mentions all the accused persons, their profiles, how they are linked to this offense. That is the theory of how they are linked to this offense. Now, with respect to accused number 2, the theory is this, or the investigation led to this. One, that accused number 1 was, I keep on saying accused number 2, I'm sorry. Accused number 2 was linked to the offense, the commission of the offense, 1, via utterances made to private individuals about his involvement in the case.
That's correct.
2, by the clothing he was wearing, that is a black hoodie.
That's correct.
And 3, via the identity kit, that is Exhibit J, compiled by Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp of the Facial Recognition Unit of the SAPS.
That's correct, am I aware?
And over and above that, by the description of the people that were in the house at the time of the commission of the offense, and in particular, by the dog identification by Zandile KHumalo and by Tumelo MADLALA.
You guys even aware what you guys did to our lives? Are you guys even aware of what you guys did to us as a family on that day?
Miss KHumalo? Miss KHumalo? Miss KHumalo?
The damage that you guys caused.
Miss KHumalo, you're not supposed to do that.
My Lord, I strongly object to this.
Mr. Baloy, do you want to?
As the witness is still in the process of giving evidence, I don't know what my learned friend is objecting to.
The procedural rules, the witness is testifying to court and addressing court, not the accused persons in the document.
Ma'am, you're still in the process of identifying the persons who came into the house. If you can just do that and refrain from further comments.
Uma ungakwenza nje lokhu busakwenza ubunandi busachaza ke labantu abangena endlini kodwa ungakhulumi ke ungasho okunye.
Yes, you pointed to someone.
Ukhona ukhombile ukhona umkhombile.
Yes,
Yebo.
he was one of the people that came into the house.
Omunye wabantu abangena endlini.
Kodwa yena wayengemuva.
But he was behind, or he was at the back.
And then sisahleli
Just a
kanjalo.
minute, you're still pointing a person. Who is it?
It's him.
See him.
The second one there.
Lo wesibili lapha.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the dog identification.
Let me rephrase this one of the dog identification. Let me say, by the description furnished or provided by the people or some of the people that were in the house on the night the incident occurred.
That's correct, my lord.
Now, from that is what I meant by the theory regarding the linkage of accused number 2 to the commission of the offense. Now, with regard to that evidence, what has been led so far, and I'll deal with that at Syria team, is the evidence of the people that were in the house and the fact that, and I'm telling you that as a fact, Tumelo MADLALA and ZANDILE KHumalo identified accused number 2 here in the dock as the second suspect that entered the house that night during the incident on the 26th of October 2014.
That's correct. That is because I was probably here in court when they gave evidence. It's not something that I was briefed by Brigadier Kenenda.
Never mind the saying that says South Africa is a movie. Let's reinvent that. Judge Ratta's Courtroom is an entire Netflix documentary. What does she mean? She didn't hear it through the investigation. She heard the witness testimony of Zandi and Tumelo. Say what now? Ma'am, how is this even a thing? You know what? Maybe I'm overreacting. I always think I'm overreacting and I always want to be fair. Let me know in the comment section down below if this is a normal practice in other courtrooms that witnesses, investigating officers come and sit in court and listen to the court proceedings.
And the one that I want to deal with now is the identification kit that was compiled by Miss Warrant Officer Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp on the 29th, if I'm correct, of October 2014. So I'm going to request my learned colleagues to assist me with giving of, I think it's Exhibit J. And if you can also have, it's this document that deals with the facial analysis recognition. It's A, because there's various of them. It's A46.
I got it.
You got it. Thank you. Now, before we go to the identity kit itself, but let it remain there. My Lord, I beg leave to, just for background purposes, to praise the witness of what's contained in this affidavit. If I may read, it's only 2 pages there, of page 4 and 5. Thank you, my Lord. And on the blue part, it says, case 636, 2014, phosphorus, murder and robbery. Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp do hereby make oath and state that on Monday, 2014, 10/29, I was called out to phosphorus detectives accompanied by Lieutenant Colonel M.J. Streicher, Operations Commander, Protea Glen, LCRC, to interview witnesses in case 676. I'm reading it as is, my Lord. 676, 10/2014, phosphorus, murder and robbery. I interviewed several witnesses individually. My first witness was Kelly Khumalo. Kelly told me, in short, that she and the deceased walked to the convenience store Upon return, Kelly, deceased, and family member and friends had a smoke outside the house. Ms. Khumalo called them inside to say goodbye. They sit down and start chatting again. Kelly was sitting near the kitchen when she saw two unknown African males entering the house. Suspect A appeared very aggressive and demanded cell phones and money. This suspect approached Kelly and the deceased jumped up towards suspect A. A scuffle between suspect A and the deceased started. The next moment, Kelly heard two gunshots. She gave the following description: African male in his 20s, dark brown shiny complexion, dreadlocks hairstyle, no scars, no facial hair, golden inset in upper teeth, language, local Zulu. He was wearing a brown jacket with a wooden collar. He was not clean in appearance. Suspect A entered the house first. He was armed with an old black revolver. Kelly could not describe the second suspect. After the compilation, she was satisfied with the ID kit. She compiled the face with the headgear. The second witness was Kelly's sister, Zandile Khumalo. She told a similar version and gave a similar profile and facial description of suspect A. The only feature she adds was eyebrows. She saw the eyebrows when suspect A lost his headgear during the scuffling with the deceased. She could not describe the second suspect. The third person interviewed was Tumelo MADLALA, who was much traumatized. He saw the scuffling between suspect A and the deceased. After hearing the gunshots, he ran off to one of the rooms. He gave a similar description of suspect A. I showed him Kelly and a sister's compilation, and he was satisfied with the identity kit. He could not compile the second suspect. The fourth witness was Mr. L.S. Twala. He gave a similar description of what happened on the scene. He saw a scuffling between suspect A and the deceased. After hearing the shots, he ran out to look for help. He could not describe the second suspect. Page 5. The fifth witness, Mr. T. Makalede, residing at Mzamo 3942, compiled the face of suspect B. He saw three unknown African males in the vicinity of the gas station, busy on the cell phones. He saw them again at Kelly's mom's house. Suspect B stood at the gate. He gave the following description: African male, 25 years, 1.80 meter tall, slender build, medium brown complexion, clothing a black hooded top. Witness saw a golden inset in upper teeth, hairstyle, dreadlocks, facial hair, mustache and beard. Witness saw something in his hand that could have been a firearm. Witness could not describe the rest of the faces. A sixth witness called Sipiwe could not compile any faces, but he mentioned that he saw an old green-blue sedan near the danger box. Two unknown African males were sitting in the car, and the other two were standing outside the car. After a few minutes, the car left, and only three unknown African males stayed behind, and they were busy on their phones. The witness later saw them running. In front was a person with dreadlocks running with a firearm in his hand. The other suspect jumps over the wall. Lieutenant Colonel Streicher and I left Foster as detectives to see Ms. Khumalo at her house. I interviewed Ms. Khumalo at the neighbor's house. She gave a similar description of suspect A. I showed her the compilation, and she said she saw a likeness in the face. She could not describe the other suspects. Now, my purpose for this exercise, really, is this. If you look at the people that were in the house, that is, those that gave the description of the persons that were involved in the commission of this offense, i.e. KHumalo, ZANDILE KHumalo, Tumelo MADLALA, Longwe and HOODIE. All of those people, according to the affidavit of Warrant Officer Steenkamp, they could not describe the second suspect. And we know that here in court, that second suspect was attributed to be accused number 2, BONGANI NTANZI. You see that? From what I've read, that the people that were in the house could not describe accused number 2, according to this affidavit.
My Lord, can I say in response to that, first of all, I did not dispose any affidavit, my Lord, in relation to this content. Yes. And my Lord, I have never ever had an encounter with the person who disposed, my Lord, of this affidavit. So I'm not in position, my Lord, to comment on what you are putting to me.
Sergeant Mohola, you are a police officer, and I'm not going to cast any aspersions to you. As part of the investigating team, you assume the investigation of the case. And in the case docket, it says the previous 40 people that were fired, people are fired. Fired is used in this court, people are fired. The 40 people that were fired, investigating officer prior to yourselves, according to the evidence of Makubu, have done preliminary investigations. And amongst those, it's the identity kit, other investigations that were conducted prior to your team assuming or being seized with this investigation. Now, as part of familiarization, you will know that there is the identity kit that seemed to link suspect A and suspect B to the offense. I'm not saying you personally were involved in the interaction with Warrant Officer Steenkamp, or you personally deposed to a supplementary affidavit pertaining to this document. I'm just reading you the contents to say, do you see in what is written in this document, ex facie, on the face of it, it says all the people that were in the house, they did not describe any feature of the second suspect that entered the house. That's the gist of my answer.
We're sitting in the same problem that we had yesterday when Mr. Mngomezulu was cross-examining. We have these witnesses who have given viva voce evidence. They've expanded on their evidence. We submit that it's unfair now to go back after they've even identified accused number 2 in court, to go back and say, but there's this document that was compiled shortly after the incident, wherein the issues that Mr. Ramasepele is referring to were traversed in Exhibit J. When they've given evidence, we submit that the proper way is to refer to that evidence to say, look, in totality, in addition, not only to this exhibit, but to their evidence, this is what they said. It's unfair to select just one portion of their evidence and to confront the witness with that. It's got to be based on the totality of the evidence, my Lord.
Yes, Mr. Ramasepele.
My Lord, I don't know where the fairness is, because the witness can answer. If they can. And I've got the records. And you know, sometimes the objections are premature. Because I was going to refer to the description, the dog identification that was done by both Tumelo and Ms. Zandile of accused number 2. I've got the records, I've marked them for that purpose. So let me run my cross-examination now.
But this witness, is she able to comment? You said to her she can comment if she's capable of doing so.
Okay, Mzansi family, let's get into it. A bit long, but I know you're patient, and the reason for that is why I had to run it exactly the way it went down in court, is so that we can have this commentary session right at the end and put all the pieces together, or should I say, ask all the necessary questions. And I'm just going to put it straight out the bat. Question number 1, are witnesses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, are they lying to us? Witness number 1 is KHumalo. Witness number 2 is Zandi, better known in the comment section as Umapopola. If you see that word, the reason they're calling her that is because in her testimony at the radio station interview, she said she was in the bathroom, but ngapopola. How? Because the bathroom is nowhere near the living room. But asikolapo, witness number 3 is Tumelo. Witness number 4 is Longwe Twala. Witness number 5 is some man called Mr. T. Makalini. And witness number 6 is just Spiwe. No last name, okay? Just Spiwe. No comment on that. But the purpose of this video today is... how did Bongani NTANZI end up in the dock, guys? Just based on the witness testimonies that were done by the by the warrant officer, Amanda Stennekamp, back in 2014, just after SENZO MEYIWA was mysteriously murdered, because it's no longer accidental, because the people in the house are refusing to tell us the real story, so we'll call it murdered, okay? How does Bongani NTANZI end up in this mess, for lack of a better word? And for the first, you know what? I'm extremely happy we do not have the death penalty in South Africa, because, wow, just with Ramasepele'S. And by the way, Advocate Ramasepele, brilliant opportunity. He took this opportunity. I mean, there's no point trying to cross-examine Maholo. Maholo's a waste of time, okay? All she's going to say is no comment. He took that opportunity to read back into the evidence. Warrant officer Amanda Stennekamp, the woman who did the identikit, and that is the drawing of whatever the witnesses say, to bring those characters to life and be able to identify the suspects. So they were able to draw. She was able to draw suspect number 1, okay, with the short dreadlocks. He had eyebrows, thanks to Zandi, who was able to describe the eyebrows. But nobody, okay, none of them could describe Bongani NTANZI. That is suspect number 2. Let me take a moment, take that in. None of them could describe Bongani NTANZI in their witness statements when doing the identikits. They could not do it, okay? None. Not partially, not anything, except that he was wearing a black hoodie. That's the only thing, because I think Bongani NTANZI owns the only black hoodie in the entire Mzansi, okay? The only one. By the way, speaking of hoodies, please make sure you check out our merch shop. I'm sure we have a black hoodie there, okay? Check it out. But let's go back to Bongani NTANZI. So the 3 ways that this guy landed in the dock, guys, this is extremely sad. First way is by private conversations, people talking about him being, one of the powers. Number 2, by his clothing, because he was wearing a black hoodie. Wow. And the third is via the identikit that nobody could identify him with, except the mysterious witness number 5, Mr. T. Makalini. Oh my God, you guys. I'm just so devastated. I'm sorry if I keep pausing. It's because it's really hitting me now. And this is Ramasepele'S cross-examination from last week when he was cross-examining Surgeon Maholo. I did not want to forget to break it down just because a lot of other things happened last week, but we cannot let this one just slide under the radar. Okay? The 4th way that Bongani NTANZI landed in the dock is because he was described by the people in the house. Although we know from the identikit that Ramasepele just read, none of them actually could identify him. And number 5, this is the infamous Zandi Khumalo identification in the dock. Remember, she identified Bongani NTANZI in 2023 while seated in the court and pointed him out after being commanded so by Baloyi. She was able to point him out in court. But in 2014, immediately after SENZO MEYIWA had died, she and Tumelo were unable, and all the others were unable to do it. But in court, suddenly their memory revived, okay? They were resuscitated at the sight of Bongani NTANZI and said, you know what, of the 5, suspect number 2, that's him. I could never forget that face. I'm sorry, my heart goes out to Bongani NTANZI. I mean, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying, based on these 5 things I've just listed, if this is all that it takes to get you in the dark. Listen, I'm never leaving my house because anything can land you in the dark at this point. Basically, Begitele's people created a case around this identikit, and these people are the ones who are in the dark. But the people who are giving that testimony, none of them is in the dark. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. But this is Mzansi, and nothing is beyond Mzansi. I mean, this is crazy. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? My question to you, let me know in the comment section. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Are they lying to us? What are they cooking? Why is it so essential to cook this meal? And why did you hear Ramasepele say Baloyi's objection was premature? Because I'm about to get into the rest of the stuff. Bongani NTANZI has sat in jail for how many years? In prison, not even jail. He has sat in prison. Mampuru, guys. Just because he was wearing a black hoodie. There's no drawing of him from the identikit. The people in the house could not describe him. And only after sitting a couple of years in Mampuru, Zandi and Tumelo are finally able to describe him. This is sad. I no further comments today. I need to process all this. But thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, please like the videos. The views I love. You guys are viewing. You guys are watching. You guys are doing the things. But why are we not liking the videos? You guys, please like the video. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you've made it this far, you're part of our VIP gang. Drop an emoji in the comment section so I say hello.